So I guess these are the times where people have to, I guess, open their minds to a different kind of help, a different way to manage their stress, the anxiety, because like you said, you know, once you become aware of the damages, it is what it is. But then how do you manage that stress day in and day out, day after day? The uncertainty. There's a lot of businesses, they know they cannot rebuild, right? A lot of these
And
people,
it was devastating to see the people. They were just like, this was my livelihood. Now there's going to be a lot of people without jobs.
yeah.
Restaurants closed. Now what Florida lives on, just Florida, and parts of Georgia and the Carolinas, they rely on um, holiday visitors coming or,
Hmm.
tourism.
Yes.
So when your gift shops and your stores are flooded and your goods are gone,
Hmm.
you lost, you're losing time, you're losing
Hmm.
finances. So it's
Yeah.
it's a dominoes effect of what's going on here.
Yeah. And the sad part, I feel like we haven't actually seen the worst of it because right now people are just kind of taking stock of, okay, what's the damage, but really how people's lives are going to be affected, we don't know yet. Because
No, because you have to have estimators come in and say, okay, we'll give you X, Y, and Z
yeah.
for this property. And you have to be really careful of others taking advantage of these situations and coming in and saying, "Oh, I'll take your beach property for 10 cents on the dollar."
Yeah,
And then surprised that doesn't happen. You
that's
know,
yeah.
in Hawaii, it was Maui, the devastation of, the fires. People came in and said, I'll give you 10 cents on the dollar of your property. You know,
Wow.
so people have to be extremely careful of that. And for others to say, we'll give you a hand. Let's help you through this
Hmm.
so that you're not taken advantage of. You're not taken
Hmm.
advantage. Um, you know, it is, when they say creating the strength of a human, it's putting them through the fires. And as we talked the last time of creating our new earth, well,
Hmm.
we are being put through the fire to create and
Yeah.
pull more of our higher self, joining our higher self, our God self, to say, okay, we need to pull more in of who I am. I
Yes,
have to remember more of who I am.
exactly.
And and the others that are so fortunate, so blessed to awaken to, just because it didn't happen to you. What can you do to help your brother and sister that you don't even know, but they are your brother and sister?
Exactly.
You know?
Wow. So let me ask you this. You've lived in Florida for many years. You've been through a lot of these situations. This one is unlike, I mean, I don't know if I can say unlike any other, but it kind of seems like it, especially on the beach side. So, in your opinion, like how, like you seem calm, right? You composed.
Mhm.
What would you say is the key to navigating these types of situations without letting it destroy you completely?
You know, I had some incredible training, even younger, with hurricanes, snow blizzards up north,
Mm-hmm.
Sailing was incredible training because you sail and anything can happen in a moment.
Mm-hmm.
Waterfalls, which are really tornadoes, and you're in tremendous weather. And I had been with my kids and husband at the time, and it was very difficult
Mm-hmm.
because in a sailboat you can flip over and you're topside, so underneath the water. And remaining calm through these situations
Mm-hmm.
is really tuning in to to your force, to the force, to the spiritualness of who you are, and connect to the Creator.
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't know if it's your last moment. You know, sailing one time where there were water spouts everywhere coming, leaving Key West, and
Mm-hmm.
sails were ripping. And I had to take my two kids and put them, like, board them up. Do you know what that's like? That's a horrendous feeling. Board them up, and they're saying, "Are we going to be okay, mommy?"
Wow.
You know, and you just have to look at them and say, "We're going to be, we're going to be, we're going to be fine." But
Mm.
inside, you're saying to yourself, "Dear God, help me get through this." You know,
Yeah.
and boarding them up was one of the most horrendous situations I never wanted to go through again. But it was a tough night of going through tremendous storms and making it to Naples when everything is tipped upside down and sails are ripped, and you
Wow.
onboard the kids. And then you go, you know, you're kissing the ground and you're very thankful,
Oh, yeah.
very, very thankful. So there's many, there's many ways we have to prepare ourselves all the time because we never know. Driving down to the grocery store,
Mm-hmm.
we don't know if we're going to make it back. Some idiot could hit, you know. And I've had friends that you're having dinner with them one night, and the next night they've been hit by a truck. So you don't know. So it's the preparation of yourself, of
Mm-hmm.
your creating that holiness, your temple inside,
Mm-hmm.
that temple. And and saying before you put your feet in the ground in the morning on the floor
Mm-hmm.
is to clear it, clear the day, and say a prayer and a blessing, and be thankful that you're here for another day. You woke up, you're here for another day, and continue that prayer every day, every hour, every second is a prayer. It's a walking meditation and a connection to all that there is. A lot of people disconnect. Well, I got to go to work. I have to raise
Yes.
a family. I have things to do.
Yeah.
Well, the journey here is to be totally connected at all times, and it makes it an incredible journey. It
Mm-hmm.
makes it a beautiful, magical journey because you are talking with nature. You are connected with your source, and you're asking to clear the way
Mm-hmm.
of everything that you do and the people that you're coming or talking to or even having over for dinner. You're asking for a smooth, clear, clearing journey of just even dinner. It's getting
Wow.
back to the basics. Getting back to the basics, a lot of people have forgotten their prayer of
Mm-hmm.
thanks for their food and clearing
Mm-hmm.
their food. I mean, where did that food come from? You
Yeah.
know, all the steps of the food getting to the table. How did, clearing that? So it's the
So
basics.
a lot of times when we hear the word prayer, you automatically associate it with the idea of religion, church
Yeah.
going. So what do you mean by prayer?
I love that, Tevi. I love that. It's okay. You and I are talking.
Yes.
And I are communing. It's sacred. Our
Yes.
conversation is sacred. But they're not alone. Everybody in the universe is going, I mean, our higher selves, right?
Yes.
It's a constant conversation. A
Mm-hmm.
prayer is a conversation. A prayer can be you out in the garden and you're creating. A prayer is a painting.
Mm-hmm.
Making food in the most beautiful way of loving the food that you got and being grateful and looking at it. And even
Mm-hmm.
when you're eating, tasting the orange. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
really tasting it. Not just, oh, I'm going to get it down. But
Mm-hmm.
tasting it and going, thank you, you know, for this beautiful orange. Thank you for the orange. You know, it's
Wonderful.
like thanking, think of your first kiss.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we're going to feel, to observe, to feel, to experience. And think of your first kiss. It was magical. Well, sometimes you could go, no,
Times.
never mind. No,
Depends.
never mind. But you have an experience of going, no, you're not the one. Or if you do, you kiss somebody and you go, yeah, you're the one. And, what are you doing tomorrow night? But it's that feeling of that incredibleness, and it's the passion that you have for life, passion for everything. Even we just went through of saying, okay, I have a lot of work. I have to clean up, as I did
Mm-hmm.
the other one. I did get flooded the last time in my family room. But you go, okay, everybody's safe. I've got a little burner, and I'm going to make some coffee. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and who wants some? And you're grateful. We're all here. We're all here. And we can sweep this out. Some places is more devastated, but I've gone through things where I asked to have my roof put on,
Mm-hmm.
prepping, prepping so nothing would happen to it. And this was during this time of the year where we get a lot of storms.
Mm-hmm.
And I went to the beach with friends to have a good time. And all of a sudden, and this is important too, instinct and my connection to all that there is
Mm-hmm.
kicked in and said, get back home. And I'm going, I'm
I
having a good
see.
time on the beach. Get back home. I did. They did not seal my roof, and my whole house was damaged.
Wow.
The pictures were floating, the rugs were floating. You talk about stress, all
Wow.
the artwork, all the electric. I mean, it was filled with water. It was like the whole house was open,
Wow.
you know. So you go, okay, this is what I have. This is a
Mm-hmm.
mess, but it's getting back to your center. What do I need to do? What do I need to do now? And you have to take the steps. What do I do right now? What do I do? The next step and the next step and the
Exactly.
next. It took me a year to rebuild. A
Wow.
year, you know.
Wow. So it's like what you're saying is a couple of things. You're saying in every given moment, be connected to that inner part of you, the higher part of you, or the higher part of all of us, right?
Exactly.
And
Yes.
and stay connected.
Yes. Don't
Okay.
disconnect. Okay.
Okay.
And you look at everybody as this is you. This is the God force. You're talking to the God force. This is a
Okay.
sacred, this is a sacred being. And
Mm-hmm.
I need to stay present to talk
Mm-hmm.
to this person, to connect with this person. And this is how I have it. Okay. Okay. You have a light. And a lot of people ask me, they go, well, Mary, I'm having a hard time because I'm working and, I'll connect later. But I don't know why my life isn't the
I
best it could
see.
be.
Yes. Yeah.
It'd be the best it could be. So I go, okay. Um, I show them their light and I
Mm-hmm.
unplug it. And I go turn the light on. And they go, but it's unplugged. I go turn the light on. See how much you can get out of that light.
I see.
And then I plug it in and I go, now turn it on. That's us. That is truly us in a simplistic way of we're unplugging to our source and
Yes.
we receive light. Light is information. Light is information.
That's very interesting because it's like when people face these challenging situations, the first reaction is to look at everything that went wrong, right? And they start to kind of take it almost personal. It's like my house, my things, my situation, my finances, you know. Uh, and it's easy to get lost in that side of things, where you
Mm-hmm.
just focus all your attention, just making an inventory of whatever it is that went wrong and how horrible it is for you. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So what you're saying is direct the attention to the source so that
Right.
you can get your energy from it, so that you can get the clarity that you need to make the decisions and
Yes.
know what step to take next, instead of letting it all pull you down and just make you feel like this is the end of the world.
And who's ever the strongest one in the family, let's say,
Mm-hmm.
it is so good for that person to keep the humor. Humor is high, high end.
Mm-hmm.
No, when I told you about the house, this house was totally flooded and everything, just a disaster. One, there were a couple rooms that weren't. So piling whatever you could into that room and getting rid of the rest. Um, my son, Eric, we would have this joke where I would say, in the morning, and everything is a disaster. We lived in this disaster. I'd go, like we were in Paris. I would pretend we were in Paris and say, or something, and I'd say, cappuccino, honey, for breakfast, something. You you have you can change this situation, just like sailing. You change the sails and go in a different direction, so that
Mm-hmm.
you are not sitting in that horrible, what could be, um, situation that you can't rebuild mentally.
Mm-hmm.
You can't rebuild mentally. And this is life. We are going through so much right now. And
Yes.
as I said, we are rebuilding a new world, we are going into different dimensions.
Mm-hmm.
And we need, with our thoughts, how do we want this? Because our thoughts create.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you want to create this? How do you
Mm-hmm.
want to make it better? How do you want to make it stronger? What doesn't work? Throw it out. Throw it out. We don't need it anymore. Right?
Makes sense. It makes sense.
And it's hard when you're going through this. So you need
Yes.
someone in the family or some friend.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Friends are good. And again, this is when we have to collectively unify ourselves. When we unify ourselves, we are so strong and see ourselves as one, just one. We can
Yeah.
collectively change everything.
Yes. Wow. That's interesting, especially the humor part. I didn't see that one coming. The stronger one has to lead with humor.
Yes,
We
yes.
should,
Yeah, craziness, or and I tell my clients, put on something humorous, not
yeah,
not pressing or going over the same issues that they have. Put on something that makes you laugh. It could be the stupidest movie or a book or something, or
yeah.
find a silly thing.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's wonderful. Because yeah, some people need to hear this. It's serious. People get into the seriousness of things, and it's hard to find the light in such dark moments, right?
Yes.
Because I've tried
Yes.
to tell people stuff and they're like, well, I hear what you're saying and all that stuff, but this is real, like the pain is real. This is real stuff that we lost is real. And it's like, yes, I understand, but the principles are still the same. What
Yes.
happened already, the damage is already done, right? So now you
right.
need your strength and your
Exactly.
energy to rebuild.
Mhm.
So now instead of thinking about how bad it is, think about how you can bring yourself up so that you can rebuild in a positive way because the
Mhm.
damage is already done. No
Right.
matter how upset you get, it already happened, unfortunately.
And this is important because a lot of people have separated themselves thinking, okay, I need to be strong. I need to
Yes.
be powerful and I don't need any help. Well, that's that doesn't work. It doesn't work. If we come as a community and saying, okay, we know you're strong and powerful, but let's add a little more power to this. Okay, somebody needs food, we bake. Somebody needs some clothes, we go to the people that have all the designer clothes. I have somebody that goes, I was thinking of lists for people that go, okay, they buy clothes all the time. Let's get the people that have this money and are,
Hmm.
giving away clothes. Yeah. So, yes,
Yeah.
we have so many events that people can raise money extremely fast. I used to do it. They
Yeah.
asked me to raise events for something. And boy, I could go around to different businesses and raise money
Hmm.
for events. We have to do it
Hmm.
for you. We have to, and if there's somebody that's struggling that can't do something, walk over and help them. Just
Yeah.
do it.
And as we're talking, I realize, and correct me if I'm wrong, I can bet you that as we sit right now, there's enough resources left over in whoever did not get flooded homes and second homes, Florida, that
Right,
if there's a network of people that come together and start communicating, everybody will have what they need to get through this without spending a penny because
exactly.
it's already there. There's plenty already there. If people start sharing, everybody will be just fine. If you lose your computer, I'm sure someone has an extra computer. If you lose your TV, your couch, your bed, I'm sure you go around, there's enough of all that stuff already in each state. If
Right,
people would just communicate and be willing to help each other to
right,
recreate that balance, and life will go on. But we are so disconnected. We live our lives in silos in our little islands. And now it's like, well, how do I show that I still got this on my own and I can do it all and I have the resources and I have the
exactly. And
connections and I've been saving because, you know,
or
it's
some people are just too timid or afraid to say, I need this, or I don't have any food, you know.
yeah,
Um, and this is our new movement, no matter of the storms or whatever they are, to say, who is it in our community that needs help? Who in our community that is old and can't do things? Um, yeah, who needs
yeah,
their young fixed?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
The small things, you know, and it's just a matter of shifting our approach to these kind of
Hmm.
things.
Hmm.
Um, traveling all these last months, taught me a lot about life and the things that we actually need in life, you know. And I realized we bury ourselves into like piles of possession, and we have emotional attachments to all the possessions. And then something comes and takes it away, it's like someone stabs you in the heart because of all your emotional attachments to all the
Right,
things that you own,
right,
right?
exactly.
And learning how to let go of the attachments, it's very liberating. That's what I found.
Hmm.
It's you live lighter, right?
Hmm.
But America in general, the culture is very, it's possession driven, right? So things like this, when it happens, people automatically think my car, my boat, my house, that couch that I had is so fantastic. That bed that I bought, the curtains that, grandma gave me, and all these things, instead of just looking at it as, okay, thank God we survived this. Now let's rebuild something new. And it's like you spent so many months and sometimes years grieving these attachments.
Yeah. Yeah. They'll even have a date. I knew somebody that actually knew their house burned. And I mean, remembered the date almost to the time of when the house burned. It was like
Wow.
saying July, you know, that they had
Mm,
banners for it. And it's like, yes, I went through where the whole house flooded, but do you think I have a date? Like, why do I want to hang on to that? That was a memory, okay, you know? No, I don't think I want to remember that.
yeah.
So, um, again, yeah.
Because to me, like, someone losing things, right? In my head, are you okay? Because I know you can rebuild. I know you can buy new things. I know you can replace things, even if you're not going to spend the money. Somehow, somewhere, all those things will come right back to you. But are you okay? Right?
Exactly.
Now, a lot of people right now, if you ask, are you okay? No, I'm not okay. I lost my things. I lost my house. I lost, but are you okay? No, I'm not okay. But are you okay? You see what I'm saying? Because as long as you're okay, everything else will be okay. You survived the storm already. The
Right.
rest is just a rebuilding process. And we do it anyways. It doesn't have to be a storm. People buy new houses, people move to new states. We go through these processes all the time. It just so happens this feels catastrophic, but in reality, this has been happening throughout our lives. We rebuild all the time. We renew
Mhm.
ourselves. You know, we go through challenges and we learn new lessons and we start over so many times.
I think it's difficult for the people that have stayed in one place forever. They have the most difficult time because they've set themselves in a position where this is it. This is my life. This is my world. You know,
Mm-hmm.
this is my world. Where we have traveled and moved from different areas. Um, we did give. I mean, I've moved. I lived outside of Boston, and I just opened up my house and gave everything away.
Mm-hmm.
Car, um, couple toys for the kids, but really, I did not want to carry or bring all that stuff. Why, why do it? I brought a few things, you know, but I gave most of it away. I gave it away.
Yeah. And I hope that this is an opportunity for some people to open their eyes to the fact that you are the treasure. Wherever you go, if you take good care of yourself, you can rebuild. It may not be in the same house, it may not be in the same neighborhood, but you'll take your light with you. And wherever you
Right.
go, that light will follow you. But if you allow yourself to go dark because something bad happened to me and this is so just so horrible, and you start bathing in that drama, then all of a sudden you're gonna lose more than the material stuff. You start to lose yourself, which is my biggest concern out of all of this, because everybody that I check up on, I just want to make sure they're okay.
Right.
This is,
Exactly.
you know what I mean? Like, I just want to make sure this is not dragging them into a place that they will have a hard time recovering from mentally and emotionally.
Right. I mean, I've done the same thing. You connect with these people to see if they're okay, and then to let them know, I've got a group ready when you're ready.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of them say, well, we're still in shock. Okay, let me know when you're ready,
Yeah.
and we're there for you, you
Yeah.
know? I mean, I would just look around my house and say, okay, here you go, you know, lighten that. And I would just be on the phone and just dial everybody and say, what have you got? Clothes? What have you got? Food? What have you got? And I can help.
Yeah.
I would have that my car loaded, with a U-Haul,
Yeah.
but people have to say when they're ready. And that takes time because they are in shock. They're in a lot of shock.
And they're not used to this feeling.
No, no, no,
You
no.
know.
And now let's just go a step further, okay? Because it's
Mm-hmm.
just not the storm
Mm-hmm.
that, that was brewing and the loss of that. There are so many uncertainties, and people have to really pull up their bootstraps to go through a lot of this stuff. I mean, people are very nervous right now because our ports are closing,
Mm-hmm.
and the ports. Somebody said 50 to 60% of our goods come through these ports
In Florida.
in Florida. No, no, no. We're
Nationwide.
yeah, yes, yes,
Wow.
yes. So we're going, we're going to be very affected. It's just not Florida. That'll be okay. We could drive across the border, you know. But no, um, I'd take a plane and go see you. Um, but there's dock workers that are on strike, lots of them, and
Mm-hmm.
Charleston and Savannah and Pennsylvania. And I mean, they're all one at a time just going on strike. So
Wow.
people are getting very nervous of what's happening in the world from the wars,
The
shortages,
wars, yes.
elections, and I'm not sure who's happy about who in the election. I mean, because
Mm-hmm.
everybody goes, oh, I like somebody else. They're going. Um, you know. So it's a really, and there's elections in all over. So people are going through a very stressful time, and this is the
Yes.
time to really pull in. I mean, a lot of people say they can't meditate, but they need to learn, and they can walk and meditate, be in nature. Nature is a healer, and we are
Mm-hmm.
going through a stressful time
Mm-hmm.
to stay in nature,
Stay in
walk,
nature. Yeah.
walk, and eat if you can food that is alive,
Yeah.
vegetables, fruits, keep your energy higher.
Very good. Very good.